This is the first time we're doing this live. We're back here with the Dekks and Dera podcast. We got Dekkster, we got Dera. How you doing, Dekkster? I think this week is going to be actually one of the biggest hype weeks we've had in a long time. What do you think?
Because of the new card?
The new card. I think this is the card I've been looking forward to the most for the last couple of months.
I think it's gonna enable some new archetypes. I think it's gonna be fun. I think people are not thinking it's gonna be that good, but I think they're wrong.
Yeah, I know I have Gladiator up here, which is last week's thing, but we'll get to the new card coming up. But what did you think of this last week's card?
I thought it wasn't very good. I know you you were having decent success with the deck, but I think
I would say better than decent, honestly. But yeah.
But do you think Gladiator was part of that?
The linchpin, the actualness. No, it was probably not necessary, but I do think it was maybe the best card for the deck. Like, I think you could replace it in the deck I was playing, and the deck I was playing was a bounce list, the main bounce package with it had Gladiator in it with Shang and Doc Ock. So it was like bounce, Shang, and Doc Ock with it. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
This is actually impossible to show live, but it was this list right here for anyone who's curious. It was bounce Gladiator. It had Doc Ock as a clogging thing with Black Widow, but you're bouncing all of your cards, and it's mainly a werewolf deck. All bounce lists are now just werewolf decks, but I think Gladiator, from a standpoint of a strong 3-drop, I think it might be one of the strongest tempo 3-drops that you can play, because Maximus you don't want to really play out because it gives your opponent too much of a benefit. Gladiator's very rarely giving your opponent a benefit, so I think it's just a stronger tempo card.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the deck is mostly just good even without Gladiator, though. I could be wrong. You did play, 460 games or something with this, with a lot of success. So
yeah, very high win rate.
I did not have that.
Over that amount of games, I would say 200 cubes I netted in 2 days. It was very successful. I think I climbed into the top 10 with this deck, and lost out of the top 10. Out of the top 10 when I stopped playing the deck. So, coincidence? I think the deck is actually correct, but you're right. I don't think Gladiator is necessary for the deck, but I actually, as I was like, I can't think of a card I would rather have than Gladiator in the deck, because I think it actually is the best card for the deck.
Really? Okay. Well, maybe I should. I did try this, and I failed miserably, but it was after I'd already been streaming 15 hours or something. So maybe,
yeah,
maybe the deck's just hard, and it's a skill diff.
I do think the deck is hard, but also it actually became very popular. So a lot of people learned how to play around it a little bit, and people started playing kind of counters to the deck a bit. So like they were just ruining bounce stuff. But I do think that all in all, it is still a tier 1 deck, not even like a tier 2 deck. I think it is one of the best decks in the game. And that's just because of the bounce package in general, I think. I think it's one of the better ones of the bounce packages. A lot of people are still running like Darkhawk bounce, but I think this one potentially as good as Darkhawk bounce.
Okay. I still think Gladiator's not worth the token investment or the spotlight investment. Do you? I feel like if you get them, then sure, try this out. But yeah.
I agree. For the average person who can't afford every single card or is not going to get every single card, I think Gladiator is not a must pick up. I think it's kind of like a solid card to put into a very few amount of decks, which is generally not something I'd recommend. Like something like Nico, which can fit into almost every single deck, is like, oh, you should definitely get Nico if it's ever in spot like caches, right?
Yeah.
And Werewolf too. Werewolf, I think, is up there as like one of the strongest cards in the game. Nico, Werewolf, and Loki, I think, are tied for the first place of strongest cards right now.
I agree. Yeah. Werewolf is crazy. It seems like he's in every tier 1 deck.
Yeah, literally any single deck. I've realized there's just so many on reveals in this game. Almost every card seems to have an on reveal nowadays. I don't even know.
Yeah. How do they change Werewolf? He needs to be nerfed, I think.
Make him a 3-1.
3-1?
So he's not a 318, he's a 316 at the end of the game.
Oh, okay. I think they might do like the Angela treatment, the +1 every time he moves instead.
Yeah. Would they give him any power? Do you think he's just 3/3 +1?
I think a 3/4 +1 is too good. I think a 3/3 +2 is way too good though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3/4 +1 is fine.
Yeah, I think you could make him a 3/3 +1 and he's still playable. He just wouldn't be dunking on people like he is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the best case scenario. But yeah, glad. Don't pick him up if you don't. I don't think don't force the pickup, but it is a fun deck. I think this was one of the most fun decks that I've played in a long time. Just from a aspect of like the different lines you could take and like the thinking you had. Like if you enjoy puzzling out turns, I think this is a really cool deck. Just like Bounce and Juggle seems that way.
Yeah, if you like to think and use your brain.
Yeah, if you like to just go easy mode, we have other decks for you. But next week, I think is also going to be kind of like a crazy deck building like gameplay with the Annihilus.
Yeah.
Again, by next week, I mean this week.
Well, also that is the pod's coming out as this comes out, right?
Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow. Well, tomorrow for people who are watching this live, but we're doing a live episode. But Annihilus, insane. Yeah, it comes out today for the people who are watching this on the day the pod releases.
Yeah. Annihilus is gonna be pretty good. Is he Series 5? Is it?
Yes, Series 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I don't know if you can really
caches.
say if he's worth it, like a token investment, but what else is in these caches, I wonder. But I think he's gonna be pretty solid. Of course we could be wrong. It's hard to know without actually seeing in practice, but this hitting voids or even hood would be great. So
I do also wonder what's in the caches this week, but you know what? We can find out. But also, I do think that he is good. I personally think he is going to be the card that when people ask, is it worth it? I think I'm going to be saying yes. That's my prediction, but I'm not positive. Like that's my personal like gut feeling is that this card is going to be absolutely bonkers in some decks and it's going to be super fun. Like just the effect of swapping sides and destroying the ones that don't. Like you can clean up your own board, and then you can also clog them insanely with debris.
yeah,
Like you're swapping all of your rocks, right?
Right, like just ruining their last turn with the debris. It might have a high win rate, but not a high like cube win rate. I guess you just have to snap before.
Yeah.
But like if they can't do anything on turn 6 because you went, I don't know, debris, Absman, Annihilus or something. That'll be interesting. But I mostly want to use it with Sentry, I feel like, personally.
With Sentry, yeah. I think Sentry is going to be one of the key cards for this deck. That's one of the cards that I've been cutting from on my clog list, and everyone's like, why don't you add Sentry to your clog list? Because I feel like it was very rare that you could get a Viper off on your Sentry, on your whatever that thing's called.
The Void.
The Void, yeah. I don't play enough Sentry to even know what it's called. But it always seems super rare that you get it off, because if you're playing like Debris in your list, and then you play Sentry after Debris, it's like you have a rock and that thing in your lane, so then you just end up having to Carnage it instead of Vipering it. So I think it's going to be insane with Annihilus, because you don't even have to worry about how many cards are in that lane with your Void, and just is going to go to the other side.
Yeah. I think this will be a lot of fun in clutter decks. I've been waiting for this one for a while, so I'm excited.
So looking at the spotlights with Annihilus is a Dakin and X23.
X23 is totally worth it.
X23 is definitely worth it. It's like a must in most destroy decks now. Dakin is actually okay. Like it's not worth picking up, I think, for itself, but with the hot location that was happening on Sunday/Monday, it's actually okay when you can get 2 Dakins, but
it might be worth opening some caches in hopes that you get either this or X23, and hope that you don't get Dakin. Dakin's not awful, but he's definitely not super high play rate.
Yeah, I wouldn't open it for Dakin, but I think Annihilus plus X23 is going to be worth spotlight caches for sure. And I think it'll be core. Like I might see Clog become tier 1. I think right now it's like tier 1.5, where it's like really strong in certain sub metas that occur, but with Destroy being really powerful, like Annihilus allows you to play like armor and Cosmo in lanes, and then you can still Annihilus and still swap sides of things because you can just play in the non-Cosmo lane. So that way you can block people from destroying the cards.
That's true. Yeah, I think the best thing for people is going to be like Killmongers, I guess, for the debris strat.
Yeah, but that's what the armor's for. And also, there's a new card coming out. Let me double check when it is. But there's a new card that protects your 1-drops. That's coming out in December, I think. What's that card called? Or maybe it's January. There's a card in January that protects your 1 and 6 drops. Yeah, it's January. It's January 2nd. So actually, at the beginning of next year, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Kyera? Oh, you already knew what it was? All right. Kyera, yeah. It's your 1 and 6 cost cards can't be destroyed. So Annihilus in combination with that card is going to be bonkers, I think. Because they have no way to destroy it.
Yeah, running armor, Cosmo, Annihilus. It's gonna be annoying.
Yeah, but
fun.
Someone was talking about this today in chat, that you can actually run Galactus with Debris now. So you can Debris, Annihilus, Galactus. So if you end up getting that one clogged lane, and you can empty your Debris lane.
Yeah, that's true. Except your opponent's gonna see it coming. Or maybe not.
You're just a clog deck at that point. So it's like, if they just happen to get clogged in that one lane, they're boned, right?
Yeah, that's true. They may not expect the Galactus. That's a good point. Oh boy. Okay, yeah. We might see a lot of Galactus.
Yeah, I think Galactus is going to be like might be core in Annihilus decks. Could be. I'm not sure. It's hard to predict because I can't really... One thing in Marvel Snap that a lot of people don't realize is that it's just like super meta dependent for what's good. It doesn't really matter how good the cards are themselves. It really depends on what is popular in the meta. And if the meta ever shifts, cards will become better and worse, right? Because if certain like destroy decks are too good, clog becomes worse and things like that. So it's really dependent on what people are playing at the time. So it really depends on your pocket meta as well, what's going to be good. So you can't really tell people this is going to be good for you necessarily.
Yeah, the top 100 is very different than non-infinite.
Yeah, very different. I don't know. What decks do you think people are seeing in the lower ladder versus upper ladder? You think there's like some... Because I only see like a lot of people don't see a lot of like Cerebro 3. I see a lot of Cerebro 3 on the ladder. Like that seems super popular because it's a really good deck against Loki, and Loki's like the other super popular deck in the top 100. So I don't know.
Yeah, we could ask your chat if we want to see what non-infinite players are seeing. I think it's
yeah, my chat, the entire non-infinite player base. Chat, what decks are people seeing? That's lots of discard.
Discard, interesting.
Yeah. Destroy was everywhere today. Yeah. C5. Actually, C5. Oh, C7 with Annihilus? Wait, another 7 cost card. We just got Gladiator and now Annihilus.
Oh, that's true.
Someone said they only play against you. That makes sense.
High Evo with the hot location because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel happens. Lockdown, that makes sense. Marvel's so good.
Yeah, I think one thing someone else noticed today, or not noticed, but they called out, was that there is a lot of people that don't get every card. So when they do get like the season pass card in the lower metas, a lot of people are just playing the season pass card decks because that's all they have. They have the season pass card plus whatever they can throw in with it. So Miss Marvel is going to be super popular sense. For all those lower tier decks, or not lower tier.
And she's so good.
She is really good, which we had predicted, rightfully so, you know?
Yeah, so if people haven't bought the battle pass yet and they're on the line, they're thinking about it, it's a good card.
It's worth it for sure. I don't think it's going to get nerfed either, because I don't think it's like busted quite enough that's going to get nerfed anytime soon, is my prediction, but I don't know. Yeah. Because I think the limitation kind of keeps it in check a little bit.
Yeah. The Marvel's film didn't do good enough. So they got to keep the card OP.
The Marvel's film actually did really bad, is what I heard. I heard it actually had the second, or the actual worst second weekend of any Marvel movie. Yeah. Like it had the biggest drop out of any Marvel movie.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
I
I
haven't
don't
seen it
plan on
either.
seeing it. But
I saw every Marvel movie up until Ant-Man, and that was the first Marvel movie that I missed, and I just haven't seen a Marvel movie since. So,
yeah.
what happened? Marvel dropped off.
Yeah, now it's all about Marvel Snap. That's it.
Yeah, Marvel Snap been popping off. Coincidence? Marvel Snap comes out, Marvel movies stop being good. Actually, I heard
Yeah.
the Marvels movie wasn't terrible. Everyone was saying it was actually pretty okay. But I don't want to
Yeah,
go
I heard
see
it
a
was okay.
pretty okay movie. That's the thing.
Yeah. Everyone was telling me, "Oh, watch the credit scene. It's great." I'm like, I'm not going to go watch a whole film just to see the credit scene.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know about that either. Is there any good Marvel movie that's like upcoming? I can't even think of one that I'm like looking forward to other than the one that's like in like 2026, like the like big
I
Avengers ones.
I don't know. I really like Spider-Verse, but that already came out,
Oh,
right?
yeah, wait,
And then
no,
I
the
guess it's
second
not
half of the that
it's not MCU, but yeah, Deadpool 3, and then if they ever do X-Men movies, that'll be great. But I don't are those considered MCU? I don't really know.
they're going to be now that they have been bought out. I think so.
Yeah.
I think it should be MCU. Deadpool 3 might be the only thing that it could be good this year. People say
Yeah.
Blade also. Blade could be good.
Loki.
Loki. Actually, I saw clickbait articles that were saying that Tom Hiddleston was going to be done with Loki, but then Tom Hiddleston was like, "You'd be a fool to think that I'm done with Loki." Cuz it's like
Oh,
but he also said like he made another comment, but yeah, I think he's not done. I think he's going to
no
do some more
spoilers.
Loki.
I haven't seen
I haven't seen it yet either, so I can't spoil. But yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers.
I'm only 2 episodes in to season 2.
At least you're watching something Marvel, I guess. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
Loki's
it.
actually good though.
I started watching Blue Eye Samurai.
Blue Eye Samurai. Is that an anime?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it. Is it new?
I think it just came out.
That
I
must
don't
be
know.
why.
It's on Netflix, but
Oh, it's on
it's
Netflix. Is it a Netflix
yeah,
original anime?
I think so.
Oh.
It's been good so far, but I gotta watch more maybe after the podcast.
Yeah, I'm like a year behind, but I just started watching. I just finished the 10th episode of Andor, so I got 2 left. Andor is actually
Oh,
really, really good. Not MCU, but it is Disney.
I've never
Yeah.
seen that. But you got to cut this out of the pod. No one cares about this stuff.
No one cares about movies. People love movies, actually, especially Marvel fans, you know?
You think so?
Also,
Maybe
the
they
pod's
prefer
mega
it more
short
than
right
us
now.
talking about video games.
Video games.
Yeah, people
Uh,
don't like it when we talk about video games. I don't
well,
know.
that's the other video games they don't care about, like the Box Boot Camp that I just got into for the 3rd time.
New
So
season
yeah,
of TFT, right?
yeah, new season. Actually, people are saying the new set is actually cracked. I haven't played it yet. It's on the public test beta server or whatever. It's called the PBE, but I don't know if people know what that means. But the the public
I
beta experience, I don't know what it stands for. But yeah,
yeah,
actually,
what does the E stand for?
I actually don't know. But you know what Snap needs? They need one of those. Snap actually should get one of those. Environment, thank you. It's an environment.
Environment.
Yeah, so Snap actually, I saw one comment on a Discord response or something like that that was saying that like they could use something like that and they've thought about it. Like I think it would be good to have like, because if they have problems with QA or anything like that, if they just literally open it up to the public for a week and be like, here, come and test this stuff out for a week, and then that would just have so much testing that it would literally just like open. Like I think the problem with that with a card game model is that you would know pretty fast if a card is good or bad, and it would remove the like urgency to buy a card that
Uh,
people have. So it might be bad for monetization, but that's also less shitty of a thing to do from a monetization standpoint because you're like not just clickbaiting people into buying a potentially like unfun or bad card or something.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that would ruin a lot of the fun of it. I feel like a lot of the fun of getting new cards is experimenting what decks they go in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that period of there is no meta. Like that's what I enjoy the most. Like even with Hearthstone, like a new expansion comes out, like the first few days are the most fun. And then after that, like a meta gets figured out, like the best clutter deck. You know, Dera comes out with the best clutter deck, and everyone's just playing the best clutter deck. And then I don't know, this other deck comes out that counters it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I want a PBE, but I could see it being good because people do spend a lot of money on things, and then they're like, oh shoot, no refunds. you know.
Yeah, but I think Snap is a little bit different almost because it's just like you only get one card at a time, so there isn't really that like that. I think it's almost the opposite where you get like the shitty period where everyone's just playing that card and counters to that card for like a day or two. So it's like you don't get a real meta until it solves itself, or like until people stop playing the card as much and they go back to the old stuff, and you can get a real meta to solve around it. But that's like, again, I still wish they would do like some like bigger releases with like multiple cards to kind of have that experience that we had in Hearthstone and other card games where you get bigger releases and metas that would appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I wish they'd do a big dump like that. Like if a movie comes out, they release a big dump of like, I don't know, even 4 cards, 5 cards. That would feel huge at this point.
Man, I still remember that last one, the last big dump.
That was a good time. Yeah, but I don't think they plan on doing that. But we'll see.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I wish they would. Like, the Deadpool movie's coming out. Here's 5 characters from Deadpool.
But they literally could just do it over the course of a season, which is what they've been doing. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, that's a problem.
I want to know why they don't want to do that. Like, I've asked, Glenn might come on the podcast eventually, maybe in January.
Didn't he say yes, and then you canceled the podcast because you had to go explore the world?
He did say yes, but it was basically like a yes for like the future sometime. So he's also said yes again, just for the future sometime. But I kind of want to know, like, I don't know if Glenn actually has the decision making around like their releases at all. Like, he might just be in charge of balance and stuff. So
yeah, probably.
Like, it's probably more of a product side to say like how many cards get released and whatever, and the timing and whatever. So
yeah,
I've also tried to get someone in product on the podcast just to talk to. I think it'd be interesting to see their thought process behind all that stuff.
If they're willing to share it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think a lot of companies don't want to be too in the open about certain things just because it's like it can only be bad for them. But
they all have to be media trained and then just not say the wrong things, and we're going to ask them questions and they're just going to say, I can't talk about that.
That's also true. So, I like it when people can just talk about things. But
yeah, which is just that's not the way it is.
Well, there's just people in chat. As streamers, we know that like no matter what you say, people are going to misconstrue what you say and try and spin it in the worst possible light and say like you meant to say this. Like, I don't know if you saw like over the last couple of days, there's like that whole like Pokimane scandal over saying like one joke about her cookies. Did you see this?
Yeah, I did see this.
It's just like people take one small thing that she said like as a little quip and then made it be like a huge thing. Like, it was literally like 20 different news articles written about it, and it's like literally just like a one small joke. So I don't understand. People just will take whatever and just like make it a thing.
It was a bad joke though.
It was a bad joke, but I'm just saying like it wasn't meant in it. Like, I say those kind of jokes in pure sarcasm. I can't tell if Poki's actually like being completely serious, but
I think it's the tone in which you say it. Like, you could tell if you're joking. She sounded just irritated and frustrated. Not a joke to me, but
it didn't sound like a joke to you. I don't know. To me, it sounded like the sarcasm that like I kind of say on stream, but I don't know.
I guess I don't watch her stream, so I don't know how she
I don't either.
Acts.
I've only seen the clips of the actual incident. And by incident, I mean like just her saying it, but
yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I just like from experience, people have clipped things out of context of me and try to say things, you know.
Yeah, you should sell Dera cookies.
I've actually I asked my stream yesterday. I said if I marked up cookies like 50% and sold them to you guys, would you also buy them?
Just take Chips Ahoy and then throw them in a new bag.
Literally just like scribble out Chips Ahoy and just write Dera cookies on it.
Yeah, just what do you turn 6 cookies. I don't know.
Turn 6 cookies.
Boom.
I actually do think that I could do branded cookies and people would buy them, but
yeah, you do branded cookies. I'm gonna do caffeinated meat sticks, and then we'll just
caffeinated meat sticks. Wait, have you? Do they have caffeinated meat? Is that a real thing?
No. I'm gonna make it.
This is a new idea.
Yeah.
Is that legal? Can you put caffeine in meat?
I think I could sell that for $7 a bag.
$7 a bag? That'd be cheap.
Yeah, jerky's pretty expensive. For me,
yeah.
meat's expensive.
Well, yeah,
it's no cookie.
Like one bag of jerky with that is like 10 pieces, is like $15. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's like mad expensive.
Yeah, one meat stick is like $2. It's rough out here.
It is
man.
actually. You're out there big spender, but you know.
Yeah, the meat stick lovers don't have it easy, man.
I don't know. But yeah, that's I actually there was one more thing I want to talk about, just Marvel Snap wise. Like we the last podcast we recorded like was like 5 days before. It was like the day before Mobius came back, and we just haven't seen any Mobius. Was that expected? You think? I think
I
we
thought
expected
Mobius
to be
was
played a
going to
little
be
bit.
ass.
You did say that in the podcast, and you were right.
Yeah, I was like, this is a huge nerf. Like costing 3 instead of 2 is a huge deal.
And do you think they're gonna change it again? Do you think it'll come back? Do you think they might be like, all right, let's make him a 3/4?
I think a 3/4 would make him better. I don't think we'd see too much more of him. Maybe he'd start appearing in my Cerebro 4 lists, but that's about it. I don't think. Yeah, I think he's kind of
He seems
gone,
dead right now.
he's a
I
2/3.
literally have seen him like twice in the last week.
Maybe he
It's
should
just-
be a 1/2 on reveal or something.
I don't know about on reveal, but I
And-
I don't know. Like it seems like there's nothing to keep Loki in check still. So I think Loki might still need. I know people down in the depths of ladder probably don't care about Loki as much, but just it's still I feel it at the top. That's just like most top players still play Loki, and it kind of sucks at the top. I feel like, but
Yeah,
I think something else still needs to be done slightly, maybe.
Wait, you think he sucks, or you think he's?
I think
it
Mobius
sucks
sucks.
that he's.
It
Mobius.
sucks.
Oh, I
It
thought you were
sucks
talking
that
about Loki. I was
Loki
like, what?
has no checks, is what I'm saying. Like Loki is still like it's just playing any deck into Loki. Like the only counters to Loki are like Cerebro decks because they can't really use them very well. They can't use the cards.
I think Loki's a problem. Loki will continue to be a problem, and instead of addressing Loki, they're addressing other cards, which I don't think's good. I think they need to just make him not reduce like the cards that he gets or something.
Yeah. That I've said that since the beginning. Just remove the reduction. Put him back at like a 3/5. Give him no reduction.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. Let's do it. Cost reduction is not necessary.
All
And
right.
then one last topic here. This is it. The turn 6 cookie.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about blocking hands as streamers? Do you think it's a
I
problem?
think it's fine. I think it's
Why?
fine. Why do I think it's fine?
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
think-
explain, what's
I think
what's
the-
up with it?
The whole sniping thing is it happens a lot more than people think it does.
So you think it happens more than people think?
More than viewers think.
Okay, but
A lot of
less
people, like,
than
people don't-
streamers think?
People don't snipe, and then if you're streaming to like 100 people or something, like people are probably going to snipe less, right? If you have more viewers, people are going to see you at the top of the directory. They're probably going to know who you are, and they're going to snipe you. So if you're streaming to 10, 20 people, like you don't need a cookie, I don't think.
So you're saying the Humegalols, you're making fun of the low viewer streamers? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying if people can find your stream easily.
So you're saying all the people that are low view streamers that say I'm getting sniped, do you think that they're crazy?
Unless they're like high on the leaderboard. I mean, if you're rank 5,000 or something, then probably, yeah, you're probably not getting sniped.
But if you do you think I think there's definitely some people that are like 50 viewer streamers that could be getting sniped as long as they
If their name also matches their
if their name matches and they're known enough in the community. Like there are some people that don't get as many viewers, but they're known. They're pretty known, so they might get sniped more.
Yeah, they might be known within like the high rank community or something like that, and they'll probably get sniped. But that's just don't match your name. Unless you want to. I don't know. It's weird because like if your name matches, it's probably easier to like find your stream. But it's also easier to get sniped. So it's I don't know. That's the way it is. But turn 6 cookie, I personally don't mind it because I understand it. Like I feel it. I don't use it very often. I've used it maybe I don't know, 1 out of every like 20 games.
So
and
you
I
just
still end up I
let
still
it
lose
rip
anyway. Yeah.
Do Do you rope
Wait, what
out,
do you mean?
or do you just like?
No, I don't. I don't normally rope out. I just put my picture of Cozy and Amaranth up.
Well, I mean, when
And
you're
then I
not doing
just-
the cookie, because you say you don't use it very much. So when you're not using it, you're just
Oh,
like. That's what I mean by
Yeah,
you
I
just let it
just-
rip. You just.
I
Send
just
it.
play like normal. I just play like
You
normal.
just play like you're not being sniped.
Yeah, I'm just playing as if my stream doesn't exist.
And how does that work out for you? You think you get sniped occasionally?
I think I get sniped sometimes. Yeah, and it sucks, but also sometimes it's hard to tell if you get sniped or not.
Yeah. I think it is
so-
hard to tell because there's a lot of times that people like I feel like I make a lot of plays against random people that like if if they were streaming they would think I was sniping them because it just seems like I made a crazy play that I was just like doing some crazy prediction on, and people could do that to me too. So it's like there are a lot of times that like I'm like there's no way they could have done this play. Like I say that, but it's like they could have like big brained it and been like, oh, he's gonna play this and this. The only time I ever like I'm like, oh, they're for sure sniping is when I get like a randomly generated card or something and they play around that randomly generated card. I feel like that's just like kind of crazy to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had some sus things that happen to me, but I'm like, oh, maybe they just did a good guess. They did a good mind read. But like recently I lost 8 cubes to some play where I only lost if they played like Eliath in New York. And like, why would you play Eliath in New York when I could have just moved cards or something? I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it was like, well, that fucking sucks. I mean, that farting sucks. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only time that I cookie up a lot on New York. I feel like is one thing, just because New York is one of those ones that's like it's a shit show just of how crazy it is of like anything could happen in New York. It's just like you move cards everywhere, everything. Like that one game we played against each other and it was 3 New Yorks and I just like was sending cards everywhere. It was just like it doesn't even like I don't like you don't even know like what's gonna happen. They're like literally you could win or lose off of so many 50-50s there. It's just I hate that location because it like removes most of the skill. But if someone's watching you, it becomes so good for them that it's just like impossible to win. So I usually cookie up on New York.
Yeah, but I think it's totally fine for people to cookie. I think a lot of viewers get frustrated by it because they want to stare at the board, I guess. But I mean, you put the cookie down and then your turn plays out.
But you don't get to hear their thought process as they're making it.
Yeah. I mean, there's that, but I think it's definitely understandable. It's just part of it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just let it happen, I guess. If I get sniped, I get sniped.
Just
I
like
mean, it's been a thing that's... Wait, what?
I was going to say, just like you let ads roll over your gameplay.
Oh, yeah. Well, I try not to, but, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, I just watched and ads rolled over while we're streaming this. We're doing this live, so... and everyone was like, oh, yeah, ads are running, of course.
It's like, okay, I can run more ads so they don't go over gameplay, or I can try and time them right. It's like, what do people want? I don't know. I think there's just...
Yeah, I personally don't like to stop gameplay because I like to just keep going and going and going because I'm also just grinding, But it's like, I'd either have to just stop the gameplay, like sit and talk for a little bit, or like get up and get a drink. But I don't know if anyone's seen, but I just like never leave. I don't know. I only get up while I'm queuing for like the half a second it takes to queue. That's it.
Yeah. It does seem if ads ever auto run, it's always during turn 6.
I don't know how it happens, but it does seem like that. And it's just like, but it's because I think it's like, it seems like that because the ads are like 2 minutes long every 30 minutes for me. I don't know if you have the same setup, but it's like,
yeah,
it's, it pretty much goes from the end of the beginning of turn 6 until like turn 3 of the next game. So it's just like, it's like a whole game's worth of ads, but it just happens to be halfway through it. Like I'd rather just be like during one whole game instead of so that like the people would miss the whole game so they're not invested already. Like ideally, but it's hard to keep track of it. I feel like it's not something that's like super easy, especially when you're concentrating on the game itself and concentrating on chat. It's already hard to like do both at once, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you need to focus on, and generally ads are like not top of mind for me.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I want to read chat, I want to play the game. I don't like I have a vertical monitor too, and like my ad timer is way at the top of it.
You have a vertical
I'm like,
monitor? Are you at Xcoder? Why do you have a vertical monitor?
for my chat, so I can read more chat.
You have like all actually that actually makes a lot of sense because you actually do sometimes when I'm sitting there like watching your stream, you're reading chats that are like 10 minutes old and I'm like, how is he doing this like without scrolling up?
Yeah, it's so I just have a vertical, my chat goes all the way up, and then at the very top it's like, I don't know, no pre-rolls for 40 minutes. So I just started, now I'm like, okay, maybe I just run ads when there's 35 minutes left on pre-rolls or something like that.
Have you
Just
thought
hit a
about
2 minute.
Have you thought about getting one of those I saw this like Elgato teleprompter thing for chat which goes
I
over
actually,
your
yeah,
camera?
I bought that.
Oh, you
but
have it.
I haven't set it up yet.
You're going to use it? You're planning on setting up?
I plan on it. Yeah. Well, I bought it and then I went to BlizzCon and then I came back and I was too tired. And now I just totally forgot about it until you mentioned it. So.
Well, now you got to set it up. I've been thinking about getting one. So I was just gonna see if maybe I'll wait till you set it up and see if you like it or not.
I heard from Cozy that it's worth it.
So Cozy, no wonder Cozy can keep that eye contact so well.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. He said it'd be worth $1,000 even.
Don't tell Elgato that. I actually don't. How much is it?
I don't remember. I think it's like 200.
All right, that's not bad. Not bad.
It's less than 1,000.
Not bad at all.
What do you think about Cookie?
What do I think about Cookie? What do I think about Cookie?
Yeah.
What do I think? I think the Cookie is like not that invasive on my stream when I put it up. So what you're saying? I think like my thoughts on it is that I've said this a million times on my stream, but it's just like I could either sit there like I've started doing this for the last like maybe like week. I've been just roping instead of cookieing because Cookie basically allows me to not rope where I can just end my turn and just like then wait for them to finish their turn. But now I'm just roping, which is just like let's the chat see the game state so they can figure out the plays and whatever. And I kind of talk through the plays and I kind of mislead my opponents a bit. Instead, I kind of be like talk through all the possible plays to kind of get in their head about what I'm gonna do. Like
you audio bait them.
I audio bait them without actually putting cards on the board. And sometimes I'll like throw a card into a location that I'm not planning on playing into, and then I'll quickly at the last second swap it all out. But I have accidentally roped out like once or twice doing this, but
I feel like it's fine if you're playing like 2 cards.
Yeah. I've done it on werewolf like turns, so that's what I rope out.
On like werewolf turns or on like bounce decks, like it's really. I feel like it's hard to do it that way. I also don't like you just can't win, dude. If you rope, your chat's gonna complain about you roping.
Yeah.
And if you cookie, someone's gonna complain about you cooking. Or if you run ads on, you can't win.
I think the main people who complain about the cookie are people who don't even watch my stream. Actually,
that's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I've noticed. Like because there's been like some like threads and stuff that have come up about it, and any comment I read, like they make comments that make it sound like they actually have not spent a lot of time in the stream. Like they don't actually know what happens. They just like hear other sources talk about it and they're just like, oh, it's just like all this, you know?
You made up the cookie, right?
Yeah.
You invented the cookie.
I invented the cookie. It was a natural phenomenon that just occurred on the stream. So
yeah, you're the cookie man.
The cookie man. Let him cookie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's totally fine. I don't know.
I think it's fine.
People need to stop getting upset about it. It's not a big deal.
I agree. Yeah. But yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all we had to talk about this week.
Yeah. Is that it? Really? This was a short one, even with all that movie and game talk. Normally we go over like the OTA, right? Because we were doing this on Thursdays or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't have that anymore. Now we just have Annihilus. Should we
preview
the next card?
I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be a big thing. I think it's going to be hype, honestly.
Should we preview the next card? Like, should we add a segment to these? I don't know.
I mean, we're going to preview it next week also. We can tease it. Just say like what it's going to be real fast. It's going to be... Wait, what's today? The 20th? It's going to be Martyr. Oh, all right. Well, I'm actually Not excited at all for this card. Not to not hype up the next podcast episode, but it's just a 1/4. It's like a worse Ant-Man. So,
Yeah.
we'll
It
talk
seems
about it.
pretty bad. I hope they buff it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
But yeah, this was short. We have less content to talk about. Maybe we got to start bringing in more topics. But we can also just launch a 25-minute podcast or whatever and see how it does.
Well, yeah, that's why I thought we were doing a short one today also, so I was trying to keep it shorter.
Maybe we should just always keep them short. Maybe 25 is the way to go.
Well,
But I think this is good.
This is 40 minutes, isn't it?
I'm at 40 minutes. Yeah, but are you not going to cut anything out? I guess that.
Yeah, I mean, if we,
I guess you don't have to.
I think it was all good. You want to cut out the Marvel stuff in the middle, but you know what? The people like it. If you're still here watching the YouTube video, thank you, and also subscribe. But yeah,
Is that the end?
that's the end. All right,
That was the end. That was the
you
outro?
can say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
All right, bye.